Have you ever had a great business idea or found a problem that you know that you could solve? Or just deep down, you know that you're meant to be a business owner, but you found yourself asking, where do I even start? If so, you are absolutely not on your own and you are in the right place. Welcome back to part 2 of Where Do I Start, the series that walks you through building a business from scratch. So hit that subscribe button because a new video comes out every single Monday and you will not want to miss it. In part 1, we spoke about you. We dug really deep into your psychology, what motivates you, what are your limiting beliefs, and we also audited your entire skill set. So by now, you should probably know yourself really well. So now moving on to part 2 of Where Do I Start? We're going to discover your why, your purpose, and your values. We're going to figure out why on earth you actually want to start this business. There's always that one big question when it comes to starting a business. What do I focus on first? What is the most important thing to do to get started? Is it figuring out your business name? Is it focusing on your customers? Is it figuring out what product you're actually going to sell? Obviously, those are all incredibly important and your business can't survive without them. But before we get onto all of that, there's one thing that does come first, and that's figuring out your why. So your why is the most important thing to figure out at this stage. It actually comes up way more than you could ever imagine. In the very early stages of your business, your why becomes the foundation to every single decision that you make. But it doesn't just stop there. Your why will stand the test of time. It shapes the choices that you make 10 years from now, who you hire, how you grow, how you show up as a founder, and even how you're going to exit the business. I literally can't stress this enough, how important your why actually is. And it can't just be, I want to make money, that's why I'm starting a business. We all want to make money, but why? Is it for legacy? Is it for financial freedom, for flexibility? Like, why do you actually want to make money? Don't worry, we are going to keep digging. Every time that you think that you've landed on the reason why, ask yourself again, why? Be that really relentless, annoying kid that just constantly goes, but why? But why? But why? If you've already done a lot of goal setting previously, this actually might come really easy to you because you've already gone through that process of dreaming really big and looking at your long-term vision. So let's bring it all back. What actually is your why? So I've mentioned him before, so I'm going to mention him again. Simon Sinek, the absolute GOAT. He says that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Your why isn't a product feature or a cool marketing slogan or any sort of financial KPI. Your why is your core purpose. Simon Sinek says that it's your North Star. So when things get tough, and trust me, things get tough when you're in a business, your why is the thing to keep you grounded. It's literally the only thing that keeps you from throwing in the towel and giving up. So let's look at how we discover your why. So to start, we're going to use a framework called the 5 whys. So we're going to start with a really surface level why you want to start a business. And then we're going to ask why 5 times to get a really deep, meaningful why. And you can start with a few different variations of your why. You might have different reasons why you want to start this business, but you need to go through that process of why, to get to the final, this is why. So let's look at a very quick example. So let's start at the very top. The first why. I want to start my own fitness coaching app. Why? I want to help people get in shape. And why do you want to help them get in shape? Because when people are healthy, they feel more confident. And why does that confidence matter to you? Because low confidence stops people from going after what they want in life. Why do you care if they go after what they want? Because for years, I felt trapped and invisible until I found fitness, and that changed everything for me. And why is changing that so vital? Because my true purpose is to ensure that no one ever feels trapped in their own self-doubt. So do you see how we went from a really surface level fitness coaching app to a really emotive mission of liberating people from self-doubt? That's your why. So remember that why, put it to the side for just a second. We're going to revisit it later on in the video. So now we know why you're starting this business. We need to understand how you're going to run this business. Enter your values. If your why is the destination, the values are the rules of the road. These are your non-negotiable core beliefs and your guide to how you're going to talk to customers, how you're going to make decisions, or even how you're going to behave. So think of them as a little bit of a filtering system. So say a really cool opportunity comes through, really big financial opportunity, but it really goes against your core beliefs. Then the answer becomes pretty simple. No. Your value gives your business integrity and a really distinct personality. But how do we discover them? Discovering your business values starts with looking at your personal lowlights and highlights. So first think about a time that you felt really fulfilled. You were really proud of the situation. You felt really aligned. It was just a really good feeling for you. What was happening? Were you collaborating with a team? Were you being really creative? Were you solving a really complex problem independently? The ingredients to all of those directly points you towards what your values are and what matters most to you. And second, and this is probably often a little bit easier to do, think of a time that you felt really furious or disappointed or just frustrated at a situation. What was happening there? Did anything really cross the line for you? If you worked for a company that just constantly cut corners just to save a little bit of money, but it had like a detrimental effect on your performance, how your customers felt about your interaction with them, maybe your value is high standards or excellence. You need to aim to narrow it down to 3 to 5 core values. Anything over 5 just becomes a list of nice words that is not going to be memorable for you. Once you have your why and your values, you're then going to have the soul of your business. Now let's mash them all together into a beautiful purpose statement. So think of this as the DNA of your business. Your why is the impact that you're going to make on the world, and your values are the standards that you're going to uphold yourself to whilst you're making that impact. When you pull them all together, you're going to have a really powerful statement that tells the world and your future team and stakeholders exactly who you are, what you stand for, and where you're going. This isn't something that's just going to get dug away in an employee handbook to gather dust. This is something that you're going to use on your website, on your social media, when you're hiring new people, when you're pitching to investors, and when you are making vital decisions for your business. So just before we move on, you might be confused as to what a purpose statement is and what a mission statement is. So let me just explain the difference. So your mission statement is more what and who. It's a little bit more of an operational statement. It describes exactly what you're doing today and the impact that you're having today. For example, we build the highest quality accounting software for small businesses. And the purpose statement, which is the why, is a little bit more philosophical. It's the reason that you exist beyond making products, services, or money. It answers the question, if your business disappeared tomorrow, what would the world be missing? So don't worry, we will cover mission statements, but that comes after we've discovered exactly who your target customer is and what problem your business is solving. So let's go back to the purpose statement. To make this really easy, I have a very simple formula. The action, what you do and how you do it, plus the why, the ultimate change that you want to see happen, equals your purpose statement. Let's move away from the theory and focus on an actual real life brand, Patagonia. Patagonia is famous for having one of the most fiercely protective cultures in business. Their values act as a really strict filter with how they develop new product lines, and also how they handle growth. So their why is to protect natural ecosystems and to fight the climate crisis before the wild places that we love disappears. So their values are to build the best products and repair them, to cause no unnecessary harm, and that they're not bound by convention. So their purpose statement is, we're in business to save our home planet. So bringing it back to the purpose statement formula. So breaking Patagonia's purpose statement down, we're in business, which is the action, to save our home planet is their why. So now it's your turn. So when you sit down and write yours, keep it to 1-2 sentences at an absolute maximum. Otherwise, you just won't remember it and your customers just won't understand it. So once you have your values, your why, and your purpose statement locked in, you're ready for the final piece of the puzzle, and that is your vision. Your vision is the crystal clear roadmap to where you're going and how you're going to get there in 1, 5, or 10 years' time. And that is exactly what we're going to be covering in next week's episode. If you found value from today's video, please hit that subscribe button, because it not only helps me a great deal, it also means that you're going to be first in line for next week's video. And also be a good friend. If you notice that one of your friends is sitting on a really cool business idea, send them my way. It might just be the push that they need to launch their business. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Let all of that marinate. It might take you a while to discover what your values are, write down your why, and figure out your purpose statement. Also, in the meantime, I've got a podcast called Coffee with a Female Founder. So if you want to go tune in, I speak directly to female founders about the messy middle of owning a business. And don't forget that we have a brand new line of merch. I'm going to give you 20% off your first order. The code is going to be in the description. Until next time, founders. Bye.